Hey everybody, just a quick video to help you with the cardio interval training and how that exactly will break out. Some people I know have already gotten hold of it and they understand how it works, and some other people still had some questions. So hopefully this will help in just a couple of minutes. So I put the tracker out there so that you could see what a 20-minute interval training regimen would look like. And I'm going to use a treadmill as an example so that you just sort of have an idea, but understand that you can use a bike, you can be walking, jogging outside, an elliptical trainer, an arc trainer, anything. It doesn't have to be a machine. But the idea is that for that 20 minutes, you're going to be doing intervals, different intensity levels for different periods of time. And this particular way that I have you guys doing it is not by hitting interval training, which I know a lot of machines have that as a setting, but rather it's doing it the way you feel, your perceived level of exertion on a scale of 1 to 10, and doing it in a rotation that I feel, having worked with people and having done it myself, is really the best way. I don't know, just the more efficient way to do it in that 20-minute time block, where I feel like not only will it help you to burn more fat, more calories, and really feel like you got in a great workout in a short amount of time, but I also feel like this type of interval training in the rotation and the way that I have it set up actually helps people to do more than what their bodies thought that they could. So here's how it goes. If you look at the first couple minutes, it's warm up. And what that really means is that you're looking on the left-hand side of that tracker and it says 1 through 20. Those are the minutes, minute 1, minute 2, minute 3, and on. And then on the right side, you're seeing a level of exertion between 1 or 0 and 10. 1 is like I'm laying on the couch and I could just be clicking the TV. It's just you're really not moving at all. 5 is like, okay, I recognize that I'm moving, and maybe your heart rate starts to, ramp up a little bit, but you can still 100% keep a full conversation. That usually means somewhere between 3 and 5 is where a lot of people work, and they're just not working hard enough. So number 1 is you want to increase the intensity a little bit of how you work, but 5 is a great warm-up speed where you just sort of feel like you're warming up and you're really kind of getting going, and you can start to feel that your heart rate is ramping up a little bit and your breathing is starting to get a little bit more labored. 10 is like that place where, oh my gosh, if I tried to keep this for another minute or two, I really don't think I'd be able to tolerate it. Now consider this. When people do a workout, like if I was to put you on a treadmill and say, okay, I want you to just full out, I'm going to put you at an 8 or a 9 the whole time, your entire internal dialogue is going to be telling you, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't maintain this for 20 more minutes. But when we do interval training, it's like this amazing way that you kind of trick yourself mentally and your body physically into doing more than you were capable of, because almost anything could be done for a minute. So what it looks like is in that first 2 minutes, that 5, so to speak, is your perceived level of what feels like a 5 to you. So there's no specific speed or level of work that you're supposed to be doing. It's how you feel. And by the way, you could feel on one day that a 5 on a treadmill is a 3.0, and on another day a 5 could be a 4.0 or a 2.0. The reality is that from day to day, and anybody who walks or runs knows, some days you feel like you have cement shoes and some days you feel like Forrest Gump, So it definitely is your level of exertion, how you feel at that moment. Also understand that your perceived level of exertion can change throughout this workout. So when I say to you, okay, be it a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, that 6 could be different in speed in the beginning of your workout when you're sort of warming up versus later in your workout when you are and you actually feel like you could do more. So don't ever measure your perceived level on what the actual speed or intensity of the actual workout is. Always do it on how you're feeling. You can warm up longer than those first 2 minutes, but when you decide to let the clock run, that's when I want you to do 2 minutes at a level 5 of the warm up. So you could be walking on there at a slow speed for 5 minutes, now feel like, all right, I'm gonna go. I set the timer, it's starting at minute 1 right now, wherever that is. If it's minute 6 for you is the first minute that you're doing your 20 minutes, and that's fine, you're gonna go from there. You'll notice after those first 2 minutes of a perceived level of 5, it's gonna run 4 rotations of 6, 7, 8, and 9. What that means is that for 1 minute, you're on that treadmill saying, okay, what do I feel like as a 6? Maybe it was the same speed, but you increased the incline. Maybe you were able to bump it up 0.2 or 0.3 miles per hour to feel like now you're at a 6, you're working a little harder. Maybe it was that you had hand weights resting on there and you just felt like pumping them was how you felt like a 6. Whatever that feels like to you is whatever it feels like to you. That minute will go by really fast, and then you're going to be bumping it up to a 7. So again, what does that 7 mean to you? How are you going to force yourself to work at what you feel like is a 7? Are you going to walk faster? Are you going to slow slow jog? Are you going to ramp up the incline, the speed? What is it going to be? So each time that you're putting up your intensity level is you doing it to yourself or using a machine to do it, whether you're outside or inside, and just knowing that you're following that pace of your perceived level of exertion for the next minute. You can understand how, like, when you get to a 9, you're really pushing yourself hard, but you know that you're going to be able to back down to a 6 again. And so mentally, you're totally able to maintain that level for that minute. Now, when you back it back down to a 6 for the second rotation, a 6 is not a 2. You don't want to totally being able to go back to regular breathing all the time. In a workout, you should be breathing, only able to speak in short phrases like that. Hopefully that gives you an idea. Under a 6, you really will be able to speak in full sentences to the person next to you. And when you're in a 6, 7, 8, and 9 mode, you're not going to be able to do that. So you should be a little bit shorter of breath. And by the way, the first time you do this, it's going to be a little bit of trial and error. You might look back and be like, well, I could have worked harder at that 6, but that's why you just have that opportunity to do it later in the workout or the next time that you do it. By the end of the workout, you're pushing yourself to a 10. That last 2 minutes is like, boom, you're at a 10, you're working as hard as you possibly can, running if you're not a runner or running faster if you are. And then after that 1 minute out of 10, you back it back down to a 5. So think of that like when you're in the neighborhood and you used to like ride your bike or be walking with your friends and then everybody like races to the driveway at the last minute. That's kind of how I want you to perceive that last level of 10. You're giving it everything you can, and then that last minute you can just tone down to a 5. And again, I'm not saying do 1 minute at a 5 for a cool down and then hop off and you're off to work. There should be a little bit of a slowdown at the end after that 5. You can, absolutely you should be stretching after a workout once your muscles are warm, and that will help so much with the lactic acid buildup as well as flexibility and making sure that you don't sort of seize up, a little bit after that workout. So just try that 2 to 3 times a week. You don't want to do interval training much longer than that. I hope this really helps to figure out how to use that cardio interval training tracker, and I would love to hear everybody's results about how it's working for you.